what you say, food family? Mike here, and welcome back to the channel for another great culinary adventure. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite comfort food classics, braised beef short ribs. We're going to sear off some short ribs and we're going to slow braise them in some red wine and beef stock, and we'll be eating like kings. So if that sounds good to you, stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Let's get cooking. Alright, today we're going to be braising our beef short ribs in this enameled cast iron pot. The reason we're going to choose this pot for today is because it goes great from the stove top to the oven. We're going to sear our ribs up top first, and then we'll add our veggies and red wine and beef stock and everything and bake it off in the oven. So if you don't have something that can go from the stove top to the oven, just sear your beef short ribs in a normal frying pan and then use your normal baking pot. Other than that, we'll get started here. As you can see, I have liberally salted and peppered the beef short ribs. That's all we need to do to begin with. And we're going to sear these off in this pot, 3 to 4 minutes per side. Just put a nice brown crust on every side of the short ribs, and then we'll get to the next step. And as you just saw, we just finished up searing off our beef short ribs. We did those in a couple batches just so not to overcrowd the pan. We also got our veggies prepped and ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and start sauteing them. We'll do 2 or 3 minutes for the carrots and the celery. We'll add the onions and then a little bit of minced garlic as well. And now that our veggies have quickly sauteed there for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and finish deglazing the bottom of this pot with some red wine. I got a rum barrel aged red wine here myself. You can use anything you like, but be sure it's something you would drink on your own, because you don't want to cook with something you're not going to drink. But you know, as always on this channel, we got to give everything a taste test just to make sure. Yep, that's the good stuff. So we'll go ahead and deglaze and we'll get on to the next step. Now we've got some red wine added to our pot to help scrape up that delicious fond off the bottom, those juicy, tasty bits you don't want to leave behind. We're going to add a little bit of tomato paste, let that dissolve and cook in for a few minutes, and then we'll go ahead and add our short ribs and finish topping everything off with some more red wine and beef stock. Okay, our tomato paste is cooked into our pot here with our veggies and a little bit of red wine. I'm going to go ahead and add back our beef short ribs. Just sit them right on top of the veggies. You want to try to keep it in a single layer, just so everything will fit in there and cook nicely. I have to do some rearranging. Alright, I got those in there. Now all we got to do is top this off with some more red wine and beef stock. Now the ratio is up to you. I prefer a little more wine in mine, because who doesn't like some wine? What I'm going to do is I'll probably use half to 3/4 of a bottle here of this. And then we'll just put some beef stock in there. And speaking of beef stock, those celery tops you cut off earlier, you can save those and make an amazing beef stock with these bones after you're done eating as well. So don't throw anything away, it's all useful. Right, we're just about covered here, so mine's going to end up being 4 cups of beef stock and about 3/4 bottle of wine. You want to make sure everything's submerged. Alright, that looks pretty good here. And all we got left to do, my oven's preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna put a lid on this, throw that in there, and let it go for 3 hours. It's just that simple. Okay, our beef short ribs have braised for 3 hours in that red wine and beef stock with those veggies. What we're gonna do next is carefully remove the short ribs themselves, bone and everything, and set it in this clean tray. We get that out of the way, and then we're gonna strain out all those veggies. They've done their job, we don't need them anymore. You can throw them in the compost or eat them if you want. They're perfectly fine to eat. But I'm just gonna put mine off to the side today, and then we're gonna take this remaining cooking liquids and reduce it down into like a demi-glace kind of gravy for our short ribs for serving. Okay, the most simple way to make this demi-glace gravy of sorts for our short ribs is we're gonna put this on medium-high, let it simmer until it reduces by about half, and we'll actually get like a thick gravy-like consistency. We have all those great flavors in there. We don't wanna waste them. You don't have to do this step by any means, but you're missing out on a great sauce for your short ribs. So give it some time, let it simmer, and reduce by half. Alright folks, our demi-glace is finally reduced. Now while that was reducing in the pot there, I had my beef short ribs in that tray. I just put them in the oven that was still warm from braising them. Keep everything nice and warm. So everything is basically done at this point. There's a few different ways you can serve up your red wine braised short ribs. You can just leave them as is on the bone, just like this, as you saw in that close-up, and serve it with that sauce and let people plate it up. Do a cauliflower parsnip puree or mashed potatoes. You can serve those veggies or do some fresh veggies with it. Or what I like to really do is shred the meat off the bone, make it like a barbacoa style, short rib barbacoa, and then there's a plethora of ways you can eat this. You can make a taco, you can eat it in a protein bowl, you can make a burrito, hell, make an egg roll out of it. But that being said, there's one thing we have to do first, and that's give it a taste test. So I'm gonna caveman this up, just grab the bone here and grab a bite. Might be one of the best short ribs I've ever had. Now because we seared them first, there's that nice crunchy exterior, but the inside is moist, juicy, tender. Great flavors from that wine, that beef stock, those carrots, that celery, the onion. It carries all the way through to the end, and I'm not even put the demi-glace, that gravy we made on it yet. Now like I said, I prefer to shred this beef off the bones itself and eat it more like a barbacoa style. So give me a second, let me get this meat shredded up. We'll add that demi-glace, that gravy we made to it. Oh, piece de resistance. Alright, you saw how easily that's shredded in that close-up video. Like I said, this is my favorite way to enjoy these beef short ribs. This red wine braised beef short ribs are so easy, so good. They take a little time, a little bit of effort, but they're so good. Put some of our demi-glace there, that gravy we made on top. Get a quick bite here. I'm going to go big bite this time. I swear, I love eating meat off the bone. It's one of the best things in the world we can enjoy. With these beef short ribs, you add that demi-glace gravy to it, shredded beef already. Oh, so good. And one thing I forgot earlier, not just tacos, burritos, protein bowls, whatever. Don't forget our neighbors up north up there in Canada. This makes a great poutine topper. Let me tell you what. Put this on top of some fries with some cheese curds and that demi-glace gravy. Oh, Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up this red wine braised beef short ribs video we made here today. If you like what I made, be sure to like and subscribe for more great content. Also, check those links in the description below. They'll send you to the website with all the instructions, the amounts, what you need, what you don't need, the timing, everything, so you can make this delicious meal yourself at home, just like the rest of them. With that being said, Mike here signing off. Until next time, just keep cooking. thing left to do while this reduces down is finish that bottle of wine. So that being said, let's give her a sip and get this reducing.